Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to Civic Minded. Today we are going to be changing the spark plugs in my 2014 Honda Civic Hybrid. I know what you're thinking. That's got to be really easy, right? Well, there's just a bit of a gotcha in there that I wanted to bring your attention that you may not know about if you have the Hybrid. If you have the regular Civic, this will not apply. To see why this Hybrid is so different, we need to take this cover off. Two of my clips are broken, so mine comes off really easily. As you can see, we have 4 spark plugs here, but lo and behold, we also have 4 spark plugs back there. So in this video, I'm going to detail how to remove the easy front plugs and the sort of tricky back plugs. This system is known as a twin spark system. The 9th gen Civic Hybrid uses it, and I think the 8th gen does as well. It sort of makes the sparking more efficient, so you're lighting from 2 places instead of 1. If you have the gas model, you're just going to have the 4 in the front, so you've got it easy. This is what the plugs look like. They are made by NGK. Part number is right there. And you don't need to gap these. They're iridium, you probably wouldn't want to, because they have a protector around them, so they're not going to get damaged, so yeah. We're also going to be replacing our coil boots, because that's probably not a bad idea when you change out spark plugs. Alright, let's get started. First thing we need to do is remove the coils, and first thing we need to do for that is unplug the coil wiring harness. We don't need to take it fully out, we just need to unplug it from each coil. So to do that, you just squeeze the tab, wiggle this a bit. If you haven't had these off before, it may help to push them in, squeeze the tab, and then pull it out. So push it in, squeeze the tab, pull it out. Do that for all 4 in the front. And eventually the ones in the rear, we'll get to that later. But those are unplugged, easy enough, and then each of these coils is held in with a single 10mm screw. Use a ratchet to loosen that and pull the coil right off. And with those screws removed, the coils will pop out just like that. You want to keep an eye out for oil and things because, well, that's never good. These, I don't know. But anyway, with those out, we now have access to not only the boots, but also the spark plugs. For the record, I'm going to be installing these back in the engine exactly as they came out. So this one came out of cylinder number 1 on the far left, closest to where all the belts are. Cylinder number 2, this is going to go back in cylinder number 1 when we're done with this. To get the spark plugs out, you're going to need a 5/8 inch spark plug socket. This one happens to be magnetic, which is really nice. It's got a 3/4 inch drive. I have a 3/4 inch extension here. It doesn't need to be that long of an extension, and you're going to need a ratchet. And these might be tighter than you think they're going to be, so yeah. Right. So now it's a matter of getting the contraption on, and you hear it clicked there. Then you want to set it so it's loosening. Like I said, maybe tighter than you thought, but once you've broken it loose, you can pull the ratchet off, twist the plug out, and out it comes. Now it is simply a matter of removing this old plug, and you see we've got some Corona staining there, so I guess even our cars are not immune from the pandemic. I'm going to get a new plug here. Yeah, the protective cover came off. And it wouldn't be a bad idea to compare the size of the... Why don't we do that? With your old plug out, put it side by side with one of your new plugs and confirm that they are the same length, and indeed they are. Yeah, you can definitely see a difference in gap. The old one's on the left, the new one's on the right. Now it's just a matter of slipping the new one into the socket. Snaps in. Don't drop this in because you don't want to bend the electrode. And then you're just going to want to screw this in until it's snug, and then we are going to torque it to 13 foot-pounds. See, if you pull it out here and the socket detaches, you know it's not cross-threading, or at least it's caught in the threads. Should go in nice and easy, and once it starts getting tight, that's when you torque it. It helps if you have a bigger extension. Okay, tighten to 13. Now you want to repeat that process for the 3 remaining plugs here. To remove the old boots, hold up the coil like this, and we're just going to bend it like that, and hopefully make sure your spring comes out. Then we need to get this seal around, so get a plastic pry tool. Don't use a flathead screwdriver. Use a plastic pry tool, hopefully one you're not saving for your interior because it's quite dirty. And then you're just going to want to peel that down. Don't do this if the new ones don't include these, but easy enough. Then get your new parts, slip the gasket on like this, and you see how we got that sort of crown there? Just flatten it and you should see the, it should be flat there as well. Then, oh geez, this is what you get for having a dirty garage floor. Slip this side on the coil. See how it's got the same spring? Make sure the spring goes into this hole here. Slip it on. That's easier said than done. Yeah, and you see that? Nice and simple. Then go ahead and reinstall the coil. Push it down until you hear that kind of click there. You see how it's not moving? That means that the coil and spark plug have been connected. Now it's just a matter of getting our screw, screwing it back in, and reconnecting this connector, like so. Alright, so moving on to the back set of spark plugs, the fronts are all done. Normally you would have to take this cowl off, but I don't want to do that. I don't have the time, so instead we have a really tiny ratchet here. We're just going to slip it in with our 10mm. Make sure it's in loosen mode, like that. And just, this one will probably be a better example because I've already taken that side. Well, actually, I think I've taken all these off and I did the valve cover gasket, but yeah. So just get a ratchet that fits in here, and before you take the spark plugs out, actually, probably before you take the fronts out, make sure you can actually get your torque wrench in here, just because you are going to have to torque them and you cannot use a universal joint extension for that. Then with those screws out, you're going to want to take the coil, pull it out, and then just sort of bend it back into the cowl, pull it out just like that. Then you're going to want to get the spark plug socket with the extension. Any adapters, remove them, make it as short as possible. Insert like that, wait for it to click, then put your adapter on, and finally put your ratchet on, loosen as normal. Just like so. Maybe I should take the other coils out first. Yeah, let's do that. Then when you're putting the new plugs in, be very careful to not bend the electrode, because that will damage them. But once they kind of catch, just start tightening and then torque them. Then once you've got your new spark plugs in, your new boots on, go ahead and reinsert the coils like so. Be sure you feel the coil connect. And that's pretty much it. At this point, you're going to want to go ahead and re-plug all your spark plug wires. Then you're just going to want to turn your car on, test it, make sure it actually starts. That sounds good. And that was the AC. Because it's May in Texas and it's already quite hot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Job well done. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to comment, shoot me a direct message, shoot me an email, aidencivicminded@gmail.com. And as always, have fun, drive safe, and I will see you in the next one. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, my glove just got caught on the dipstick. That was fun.